Okay. Hey, how's it going? Nice name, man. Hey, Lewis, how you doing? So just to catch up with you guys, we're just doing some Patreon commissions today. This one's for Euro. I know he's been in the chat for a while. It looks like he's got a D&D campaign going, so he's got some of his own characters kind of going. So we're gonna do a Dragonborn, I guess they're called. We're just gonna put our own little spin to it. And yeah, so we haven't been doing this in a while. So let me know if the audio is all out of whack or whatever. It looks good on my end, but you guys will be the ones to be able to tell me whether or not it's good to go. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Alright, we'll zoom out a bit just so we can play around a little bit more. Audio's good? Alright. Hey Chris, how's it going? Alright, so we're gonna try to find a lot of these that probably sounded really gross. Just to show you guys here. Just so you guys can kind of see where we're going to be going here. We're going to be working in this style too. This is the newer style that I'm going with, and we're going to throw some quick color on there too. So it's like along this line. These are all his like D&D the party. She's got a gnome, an elf, that kind of stuff. A bard. I forget what this was, a half orc shaman or something like that. And then that's other stuff. But yeah, so this one's going to be a Dragonborn, so we're going to see how we're going to kind of... And we get a little bit of freedom with this too, so... Try to figure out some sort of... Usually pretty up close. I want to make sure we see like the dragon stuff here. It's a big old jaw. Oops. Actually, this looks kind of cool. Maybe we could kind of go up here and get a high nose up here, or maybe down here. One of these two will be a nose. We'll see when we get in there. Get that big old reptile eye. We'll do a couple different versions of these here. Just usually something pops out after a little while. Get some scales on them. Flip it here. I know, right? Just looks like pure spikes. You'll see. We're going to clean it up a little bit here, see if we can find something in here. Alright. Try to get these big, boxy, intimidating kind of shapes. Actually, let's make the nose way up here. That looks better. Get the big old jaw. A little 3D to it. Just open it up a little bit over there, maybe. Let's see what we got here. Bring it back here. The problem with like this resolution we got here is sometimes it can get a little hard to know exactly what this is. You don't get to see, like, you know, if it's a dragon, right? You might want to put some wings or something in there, but maybe we can find a solution. If we're going to color it, maybe what we can do, I don't even know if they do this in D&D, if they breathe fire, but maybe we can make them snort and smoke or something. Or not snorting, puffing out smoke. Or maybe, yeah, we can get, like, fire coming out of his mouth. I like that. This is actually coming along pretty good. I don't think we'll maybe need to do another one, to be honest. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then, sometimes you get lucky, eh, Chris? So put like some sort of, I always say D&D clothing on them, but just generic robes and that kind of stuff. Okay, let's turn this off so we can see what we're looking at. Make them looking at something in the distance. And again, these are, from my understanding, just supposed to be as if you're looking in the D&D book. It's like you pick your class. It's not like an actual character, so you don't need to pick the class that they are and the armor that they would wear. I think what we could do, though, Because I'm always a fan of doing the old simple Kirby style scales. You kind of put it everywhere. But we could actually get some, we could put like, maybe this is sort of like, if you guys ever played Skyrim or Oblivion and all that, you kind of figure out like, you know, you get to customize their spikes or something like that. Like it could be their beard. Maybe he's got like a beard of spikes. Actually, that might be pretty cool too. Oops. Here, let's get some more organic kind of chunky shapes here. Yeah, now we're getting there. Out the mouth would be cool too. Okay. Sometimes you get lucky and these things just kind of come together. What a piercing kind of look. So make sure that we still feel dragon. Maybe we got to really push that jaw back there. Maybe what we'll do is we'll bring that nose in just a bit like that. What else is missing for a dragon? Actually, maybe we can put like something up here, like a little bit of armor. It's a dragon. He's probably not a chef, although a dragon chef would be kind of cool. Look like that. Maybe put this all like dents and stuff, little dings. Okay, I think we're good. How's that gonna look? Let's lower that a bit. Actually, sorry, I'm all over the place with you guys here. It's been a while. What this is, I should say too. This will be recorded, obviously. I'm trying to do some tests here. My son usually goes to bed around 7, and he's having a little rough patch tonight. And our living space is pretty small, so I'm trying to see how audio works and all that. So if I'm not over the top in my voice, that's why. And anyway, so I'm gonna try to do a couple test kind of things like this throughout the week. I know the month's almost over, but into next month too. I would like to get back into doing something a little bit more like we were doing before, a little more routine to it. I got some projects I'll be working on that I want to share with you guys. So if you're following me on social media anywhere, stay tuned for that. A lot of it, and I don't mean to just throw it down your face right now, but a lot of it is on Patreon. But the meaningful, chunky stuff will still get posted online, so you don't have to be a patron supporter. Really, all the stuff that's going on right there, right now anyway, is my flip-flopping and art style. So some of you guys, you might know. Hey, Mom, how's it going? You guys might know what I'm talking about with the art styles jumping around. It's very hard to just commit to a new style when I feel like sometimes I can just jump around and do more detailed work, we'll say. But anyway, on Patreon, I'm just sort of talking a little bit more about that and posting some artwork. I'll show you guys this too. This one, we'll definitely be talking more about it soon. And this will be an example, actually, I'll show you. So, I talked a little bit about this on Patreon, but I can give you guys a quick snippet. So, this project that we're working on here, it's like a classic sort of like cover in the way that I used to draw, so like a Galactus style. So don't look too much into the horns here on the costume design. It's more meant to like, we want to have a Galactus type character invading the city, and then I had to put a design and a spin on there. So these are the thumbnails, and they're very much drawn in, I'd say, my JESOP King traditional sort of style, and I'm trying to break away from that. Not that I don't like it, I think it's really fun, but I've been looking at a lot of Corey Lewis, Jack Kirby, Bruce Timm, a lot of energy stuff over the last little while, and I'm trying to break out of this comfort and get way more into that. So that's why you'll see something starting to get a little bit wacky. But I do enjoy where they're going. Anyway, so we had that, and so this is what I had sent him. This is one that got approved, and you can see it's just the breakdowns. Whoops, let me zoom in here. Okay, zoom in. Okay, I can't zoom in anymore for some reason. Let me see if my mouse, there we go. Okay. So this is the same thing, the thumbnail here on the right, just broken down with the actual character design put over top. We got the heroes, all that cool stuff, right? So this is still the traditional normal style that I would do. But the problem is I'm defaulting back to here. So flip flop as I usually do. I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can Jack Kirby it up a little bit more with that. So you can kind of see him getting in there with some penciling. Because I feel like the Kirby kind of stuff that I was doing, I need to get pencils first in order to put inks down properly. But then as I was doing this, in the back of my mind, I keep going, oh man, well, if I'm just trying to look like Kirby, then I'm not adding my own mix in there kind of thing, right? So that's where I should put this in context too. At the start of this year on Patreon, or at the end of 2019, I put a bunch of polls out there asking you guys too for your feedback, just because I wanted to gauge what my audience was kind of the direction they're at. And I was sort of saying like what style I wanted to kind of pursue in 2020. And a lot of the feedback was actually the style that I didn't go with at all. And so it's going to be interesting. And it's sort of the reservation that I do have in the back of my mind of like, oh God, am I making the wrong decision here? The people that enjoy my stuff, I'm distancing myself from that. So I might have to go find a whole new audience of people that might dig my stuff, or you guys will tag along and all that. But anyway, so yeah, so at the start of this year, I decided that I'm going to commit to that style and go. The hard part's been I'm already a month in and I'm already flip-flopping back and forth, which means I really need to stick to it and just really give myself that year to see how it goes. And luckily, and sorry to ramble here, guys, we will draw. Luckily, I seem to be getting more work, paid work from people with this new style, which is very interesting to me. I'm very fortunate with that too, so I don't want to make it sound bigger than it is, but that is a positive thing. So anyway, so this was the traditional sort of style that I would do. The line art with the contour line. Looks fine. There's I don't think wrong with it. But here is where we're going to be going. And this is the more simple, I would say a mix between Corey Lewis and Kirby, with me in there as well, right? Like the anatomy and stuff like that. And what I do dig about this is like the shadows and all that stuff. They can go pretty quick. And actually, let me just, because you guys might get a kick out of this. Let me turn all the inks off, just so you can see where the line art looks. It looks very similar to like what we'd normally do, right? Except I'm taking a little bit more liberty with like anatomy, like all this kind of stuff. Just fun shapes. And then when we get into inking town, then it gets fun. You just start slapping black everywhere. Now, normally I would leave it with this, and what I'm trying to do now is maybe adding a little bit of a contour line, just to make shapes pop a little bit more. Because I'm noticing when I do some pages with some other projects here, I'll quickly show you guys that sometimes things can get a little wacky. Why is this is weird? Can't seem to zoom in. So this is like that style, the new one that I'm working on. You can see it's very. This panel I don't really like on the right here, but on the left there's a lot going on here. What else we got here? Here, I'll show you guys two pictures here, and then we'll get to drawing. How does that sound? Let's check this dude out. This is in the newer style too. It's very fun. It's very it's quick too. As you could probably tell. At least for me. And what's great about that is now that I have a son, time's very short. I don't want to not draw, especially comics and stuff. So it's definitely played into where I'm going this year with this kind of thing. So as you can see, it's very simple. It's almost like a Mike Mignola too, if you think about that, just a line art with some shadows. But once color's on there, it really comes to life, I think. And then here's like a comic page. Again, like this isn't superhero stuff, but it's in that style. You can kind of see everything's kind of coming together here. It still works, it still reads, but we need to get some more action kind of stuff, right? So that's what this project is right here going to be a little bit of. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. There's probably going to be a few comic book pages in that, but nothing too drastic. But on Patreon, like I said, and I will share with you guys, once we start moving forward with that, is I do plan on doing comics heavily this year, especially with this new style. I want to ramp out more stories as opposed to just drawings. Hey, Lewis, how's it going? He's saying you can't get rid of us that easy. We're gonna well, thank you, brother. Chris, looks really awesome and dynamic. That big dude could one-shot all these chumps. Oh, 100%. And also, like, the guy, everybody that's in here, too, please let me know, like, the look and stuff that you guys kind of saw. I'm always open to feedback. To sort of, I don't want to say change, because that's always going to be playing in my mind of flip-flopping between how I draw, which is very odd because most people just draw, right? I feel like taking a plunge and trying to do something different, and it's not safe, it's not comfortable, so I'm all over the place with it. And I'm not looking for feedback or praise. I'm just looking for, it's more of a curiosity. Art of EEW, welcome. Reminds me of Redline. I'm naive here. I'm sorry. Who's Redline? Is that a comic? Is that an artist? Zipgun, how's it going? Thank you. Chris, is a squirrel god running around in the woods? Actually, it's funny you bring that up. I had a, I wonder if I have it here that I could quickly show. I do not, but I did try farting around a little bit with this newer style, and it's funny because everything goes so quick. I know I'm able to hammer out some pages quickly, so I'm very excited for this year for what's happening. The first book I'm either going to do is one called God Eyes that you guys have seen. Actually, here, do a little spoiler for you guys because I love you guys. This one's a little bit more of a superhero story. And I post a little bit of it online. God Eyes, here we go. Nope, not the right one. I think I have it on my drive here. There we go. Okay. So if you guys want to see flip-flop it in styles. So I'll show you guys the inks before the colors, because the colors I ended up adjusting them. So here you go. So you see something like this. So yeah, let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see the style I'm talking about with the big blown out anatomy. A lot of these things don't make sense, like this line, you know, like these abs, they don't really make a lot of sense. But the idea for me, at least when I'm drawing, is it gives me a feeling and an emotion. And that's all I care about. The more I looked at Jack Kirby, the more it's not necessarily about the anatomy that I care too much about. It's, how many of us here that read comics, do you guys look and you just, you read from bubble to bubble to bubble, and you glance at the artwork. You don't stare at it. Surprisingly, like, I would argue 70%, maybe 80% of comic book readers just do that. And to me, that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Jack Kirby as I was looking at it. He moves a story along with energy and movement. And just in that mindset, it's not an excuse to have shitty drawings and shitty anatomy, but in comics, it's about stories. And the one thing I was noticing is I was getting caught up in how beautiful and rendering and all that kind of stuff I could do. But when I look at Kirby and Lewis, Mignola to a degree, story is all there. The storytelling is all great. It's powerful. It's emotion. So that's where I'm kind of going with that. And I'll keep talking about all this crap. Anyway, so there's this, and so here is a color we ended up going with. I don't like these ones. You'll see another version where the color is better, and that's the direction I'd rather go. But just so you have context of how this could look when it's colored, right? Just comes together a little bit. Okay, so we had that one, and now here's the tricky one. I can never find where I put things on my computer here. Oh, actually, hold on. I know, again, jumping around everywhere. But, yes, we got some Squirrel God here for you. Right here. Look at him. Right there. See? So he works. He's got these big chunky shapes. He looks great. I think he fits really well. Got a little Loki kind of looking guy over there. I forgot how much of when I streamed, I would always do this. I'd never get any work done. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I had another... No? Okay. I could have swore I had another pose of... Oh, here we go, yeah. This one I was just trying a little bit more. So you can see, it's all simple stuff. This one's got a little bit more Kirby action going on with big fat brush strokes that I don't think I'm necessarily going that route. It's more like this route is where I'm kind of headed. A little bit. I saw somebody actually leave a comment on Instagram, and it actually struck with me, and I dug it, which was like a mix, and whether or not you guys see it or not, that feeling sounded good, where it's Kirby meets manga. I like it. Gives me a nice solid base. Okay, let me see if I can find... Cover? No. Art. Ideas. Here we go. See? I got them in every freaking place. So here... it's a different. This would be my more traditional John style, we'll say, and the coloring's got a little more punch to it too. But let's just put the inks on. So this is, just so you guys can see it back and forth. And I've shown this to a few close friends, and I've had feedback both ways. So this is where we're going. This is more like, I got my rendering and more traditional American style comic. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I think, it still works. But I was redrawing the pose and the character just to see the difference. And this coloring, I think, really brings it to life. And I think this style of coloring, I could bring over to here, and it should work. As an example here, let me just show you. We can do this real quick with the power of digital art. I know this is going to look really weird. Flatten image. I'm just going to copy and paste the color. And just so you guys can maybe see it a little bit. All right, we'll merge that. Do that. This might not work out. Yeah, not really. But anyway, I thought that would look a little bit better than it does. Maybe if we blur it. Anyway, that's looking really bad. So, just wanted to catch up with you guys with some of that stuff. Okay. Hey, Keeman, how you doing, brother? I hope you're well. I am well as well. I am good as well. Thank you. What was the April folder? A totally different. Oh no, that was for you, April. I believe. You guys can read all my secrets. April's. Oh wait, this one. April's comic. I could show you that. I don't even know if you remember that. This was in. It says 2018. I don't think that's right though. Comics. I think it was just this. It was a comic you made called Super Whale. Oh man, check this out. Do you even remember doing this? So what we did is, I think I had my old Cintiq here. I forget how old you were when you did this. I just drew this out for you, like the borders, and you fill it in. Super Whale farts, apparently, to move forward. The end of the evil Dr. Shark. Oh, you do remember it? Oh, that's too good. Okay. Redline is an animated movie released in 2009 by, give it a Google search. Your style is very similar. Thank you. I'm always looking for styles that are similar. Because sometimes you get questions when you're trying to do a new style, And sometimes people solve it. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think I've seen this, but wait, did this person do something way back in the day of Animatrix? This is the kind of stuff I like. I dig, and I want to see more of that. So thank you for that. Keeman's always busy working on his comics. I love it. All right, we're gonna group all this together. All right, let's start taking care of some business here. What time is it? Yeah. All right, let's bust ass. All right, we're gonna get black. We're gonna go down to our new style brush. Big fat nasty brush. Okay, let's get in there. What I find really cool about this brush too, it's not that the brush is magic. Maybe it is. Is it's got some traditional life to it. Like I feel like I reduced the amount of times I can zoom in, so I can't zoom in any further. But it's got some tooth to it. Let's clean this out. And even working like this too, guys, it feels real good. Like I have to kind of pick the lines a little bit more thoughtfully. But hopefully this kind of shows you some of the speed that I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to praise or gloat when I say that. Just trying to be transparent with you guys as to why some of these decisions are being made here. They're starting to look like teeth. So you can kind of get in here. And then we'll end up adding some like some shadows soon too. I'll put some little spikies. I'll erase a little bit here too, just so we can do some of that. All right, this is just like that random detail that always just adds like a little bit of punch to it. You know, let's save that up. So just get that. One of the reasons that I decided to kind of pursue this look here. Oops. Let me just fix my settings here. There you go. Is since my son was born, the amount of time that I've had to draw has been just massively reduced. So if you're a dad or a mom and you're an artist, props. I understand. I understand. More so, obviously, now than before I had Alexander. But it just made me kind of look back at, okay, well, what are we drawing for? What are we doing? And it was really about just wanting to tell more stories and get more drawing done. And you know, and be happy with it. I don't think this looks horrible. It would look different if I was drawing it how I used to do it. So making that kind of commitment was like, okay, cool. So now just worry about making stuff. But it's interesting, the amount of back and forth I'm going through my head about, is it the right decision, the right call? And I think a lot of that insecurity just stems from lack of actually making things. You know what I mean? Like I'm clearly doubting my choices, and my brain is coming up with reasons why I shouldn't do it, which means I need to do it because it's more of an emotion reason for drawing as opposed to what my brain logically is saying is like, you know, if you draw in the way you used to do, it's kind of proven already, you know? You got all these people that kind of dig what you're doing. So when you make stuff, it's more eyes on you and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that's not, I don't want to say it's not the way, but it's definitely not something I should be, at this point right now, like, it's not something I should be putting a lot of weight into. It's more about just keep making stuff and what's happy and fun and exciting. So, and then I appreciate the support. A lot of people have, you know, said the same thing, but it's hard when you're the artist. And I guess you're looking for some sort of validation or something. But anyway, get some cast shadows here. Are you gonna raise your son to be the next Sylvester or Kenny Omega? Ooh, out of those two, God. Like, man, that's a tricky question. I don't want to raise him to be an artist, that's for sure. It's like setting him up to have a shitty, rough life. And then on the other hand, wrestling. Oh man, that's a lot of work. Oops. Okay, let's turn this off just so I can kind of see where we're at. I don't know if I like that eye colored in. I feel like we could color it. Well, that's some color there. We need some black on this side too. Okay, so let's add some of those special effects in there. So that smoke we kind of had coming out here is going to be cool. Or was it fire, right? Let's get some going on the other side here. Let's take a look at that, see how that looks. Yeah, it might work. Okay, we'll get here, and we'll use some inking. And all I'm doing is I just made a layer, and I'm just painting in white. Just this way, it's like I call it non-destructive art. Just comes from working in video games, where it's like you might want to always be able to go back to a step or a stage or a look. You never know. So instead of me erasing those lines or drawing white directly over top, just make a new layer. That way I can always go, okay, I don't want smoke at all. You know, kind of redraw anything. That makes sense. Okay, we'll go here, and we'll turn that off. And okay, let's get some more shadows in there. Hey, thanks, buddy. Alright, we want some heavy shadows, right? Alright. So one of the things I noticed when doing the curvy stuff is, let's just fill that black. It's like instead of doing like, I'm going to do a drop shadow here. So you guys, let me do it in white so you can kind of see it. When you're doing a cast shadow, it's usually just following the shape of that it's casting down on. See how it's like all these triangles are kind of coming down? With the Kirby stuff, you would kind of just like, at least the way I'm looking at it, is you just throw in shapes like that don't follow it correctly. But just gives it like this punch. You see what I'm saying there? That's not something I would normally do. I have to fight pretty hard to not want to fix them. Let's put a little shadow on this guy. Cut into it a bit. Something like that. The next Jim Lee. I don't know. Like I said, if they want to do comics, God bless. But I mean, you guys all know how hard it is. If you want to be at the top kind of thing. If you just want to do it because you enjoy it, then yeah, all means, go ahead. Maybe we can kind of turn these into like looking like teeth. Not teeth, but I'm saying teeth how I would kind of shade teeth a little bit. Let's flip it so we can get another look at it. Add a little these kind of lines in here just for some texture. All right, let's try to get some design slightly in here. Nothing crazy. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, it's too much. Maybe we'll just continue cast shadow down here. Something like that. Yeah, it looks a little better. I'll put like these little dots everywhere. Just kind of get this Kirby-esque kind of stuff here. It's really nonsensical. It's kind of like just trying to pull lines away from something. Right, so kind of come up here and Get the zigzag just to kind of guide the eye around. So we could, I'm feeling, and I can't really explain it more than just trying to feel it. Like I got all these lines coming like this here in my mind. So if we can kind of maybe pull one of these lines here, like let's go here and see how that looks. Hey Cedric, how's it going? Yeah, I'm glad you're here, pal. Hope you're well. Look how good that looks. Now he's evil. Although, maybe we could... I always like this look, this black eye look. Maybe what we can do is... Like, I like it. I think what we'll do is we'll just use color to put some darkness in there. I just want to make them look evil. Let the players have the choice. Okay, I think we're good. Actually, since we got fire here, let's try to... a little texture in here. And we can color the sucker up. Yeah, something like that. Red veins and the black eyes. Hey, Lewis, how's it going? Taunting, welcome. Yeah, I just wanted to make them look too evil, right? That's all. I'm with you. I think the black look perfecto. Okay, so we're going to make a new layer. Whoops. Or not a new layer. We're going to duplicate that whole folder, open it up, merge everything, separate it from the background. Okay, now we get to pick some colors. Now this, I don't know what we're going to pick. So give me 1 second. Actually, I'm going to try something with you guys. I don't know why my voice just cracked there. I hit puberty for a second. I saw a tutorial on YouTube while I was at work to make color swatches. Check this out. In case you guys don't know. It requires Photoshop. I don't think you can do it in Clip Studio. And I'm just going to put... I'll put dragon. What you're trying to do is find a picture, and I'll try to just pick something quick so you guys aren't just staring at a blank Photoshop thing here. You're trying to find just a cool looking image that you like, and then you can export it to get some basically swatches, which is what we're looking for. Ooh, an alabaster dragon. I like that color. Guess we're just kind of going with, do we want the traditional red? Green and purple would look kind of cool. A little bit more lizard-like. Actually, here, I'll just show you guys what the hell I'm looking at. Okay, so this one right here, whoops, this one right here, that looks pretty cool. This was that alabaster looking, it's like a white. If we go green, yeah, it's starting to get like a lizard. I don't know if I care for that. I want some nice bold colors though. Let's see what we got. Because we're going to do red fire anyway, right? Or smoke, like an orangish yellow. So maybe green will work. Just because there'll be contrast in colors there, you know? Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what we got. You know what? I think we're just going to go with that green and purple. This guy is like something out of WoW. Okay, so what we do is we just go copy. I'll close that. We'll go file, new. paste it. Okay, and what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna hue saturation. I just want to see maybe we can get some different colors. You know, sometimes you can find something like that. That's kind of weird, but it's not bad. All right, maybe we can tone the saturation a bit, because I'm gonna punch that saturation up, so I don't want it to be too, like, I like it over here, max, but maybe we can go kind of down like that. And okay, so what we do is we go File, Export, Save for Web. Let me just bring it over here so you guys can see it, because this is pretty slick over here. So what you're going to do is change it to, it's usually like JPEG or something, go GIF, and you can see now you're getting swatches, right? And what you want to do is go to right here, colors. Actually, where was it? Selective, adaptive. I guess adaptive might be, alright, whatever. You can click around and figure out what you like. Anyway, you want to bring these down to like, I don't know, 4 colors maybe. You can kind of jump around. See, now we can start getting that purple. This is kind of what it's looking like. You know, it's pretty boring looking. 6. So what you're doing is you can kind of flesh this stuff out. You don't got to use all these colors, but just having a little bit of options there. You know what I mean? So usually the idea is to stick around 3 or 4. What's selective bring up? That might be better. That gives us a little bit of a range. I kind of probably push this one to yellow. Okay, we're just going to do that. And then you go right here to this little hamburger thing and go... Actually, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to try something here. This is my own little thing. Let's hit print screen. Cancel. File new. Yeah, it's going to be our entire screen here. And I'm just going to do it this way. Oops. Normally you could just export the whole swatch, but I don't color in here, right? Yeah, we're just going to take this. Control copy. Alt tab to Clip Studio. Let's see if this works. And paste. Okay, cool. It worked. Oh, I can't get my keyboard. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we got our colors. Just like that. And what I like to do first is we're going to fill this guy in with a color. Let's just go gray. Oops, fill it all in. And then we can just remove all this stuff. Just a fast way to make a quick selection there. Or a mask for this whole character. Go here. Boom. Okay. Now we're good. So we'll get our colors back. So I think what we'll do is let's just start with the green. Nice bold color there. And just pardon me, I just have to make a new window to put it over to my second monitor so my colors are a little bit better. This looks like a teal kind of green. And like I said, remember, I like this, but we need to push that to yellow a little bit more, I think. Okay, so now that we have that whole mask, we can just make a new layer, and right here you can just clip it, right? So we can still play around with this, but I think, yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm just trying to find areas to like slap this color into. So make sure all these are closed. And I'm going to change the color of these horns down here. But by working with like a limited palette like this, this isn't something I normally would have done. I'm trying to get better at it. Because it just restricts the choices you can make. And it kind of brings everything together a little bit better. And it's hard for me to see that because I'm used to just slapping down whatever and then like adjusting everything. And I'm a fan of saturation myself. So just being able to see this in this manner makes it a little bit Eventually we'll get to where we want it to be. But getting there is a little bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, so make a new layer, we'll merge that down. And the horns, I guess we can go with like this, see how this looks. This reddish color. And you don't gotta be a slave to these things too, right? You can always pick the color you want after too. Think, what are the colors we got here? Yeah, so I'm gonna go into like this orange. Maybe we'll pick this dark green. Yeah, we want it darker. Put towards, yeah, that might be better. Something like that. Actually, you know what? So we're kind of going, I forget what this is all called, analogous or something? Kind of sticking around this color wheel here. Alright, let's get that fire in there, just so I have a reference. So go here. We're going to get that smoke. I still want it to be warm. So we're not going to go full gray, even though it might look gray. That white background isn't doing us any favors. So maybe we can go purple. A little red. So I'm just sort of like adjusting some of the selections we had of different colors. Yeah, that works better. That background we're going to have to work on though. Not a fan. Actually, you know what? Just to bring some more of this color here, we added this kind of crap, so maybe we can just sort of lock it in there. It'll just give him a little extra detail on his head. Like he's got scales up there, you know. And actually, let's do it here too. Yeah, it looks good. And do we do it to the nose? Are we just getting crazy? Yeah, I already like where this is going. This is cool. Is there a new update for Clip Studio? Yours looks slightly different. There might be. I just downloaded one last week, I think, because I was looking for something and I forget why I did it. Oh, somebody said there was a new brush, a taper brush or something, and I didn't have it on mine. So, yes, there is one. Okay, I don't know what we're doing with this background yet. I'm not sure what that nose. It's kind of cool. maybe we'll just add some more like pattern. There you go. Sure. Cool. Okay, and we got the green scales down here. I feel like green, I don't know why. I know I'm all over the place now, but green with lizards is like, oh, that's not bad. I don't think I mind that at all. That's super green. Blue always looks cool. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we're gonna push a little bit more green. Let's have fun with it. All right, we'll go there. Now, his armor. I don't want you to stare at it, so let me try this, and we're gonna really bring that down. Super desaturated too. Like it's here. I don't want you staring at it. You know what I mean? It's just something. It's just extra. It's detail down there. That background's gonna change though. It's really competing with everything. How's it look when we go darker with it? Or we go lighter. Yeah, maybe we go here. Alright, his scales are competing too much. Yeah, that might work better. You haven't updated in a month? Yeah, that's probably a good time to do it. Okay, so I know we got his armor here. We just need to at least dress it up. Just I know I know I said I don't want your attention there, but we gotta at least change it a little bit. Like like this trim will look real nice. So go ahead and put some of that in some places just for detail. And then maybe he's got a little bit of these over here. We can go and it's not fully yellow, but your eye will think this is yellow here. Kinda. And maybe we'll actually go over into the yellow a little bit. Just for like this cape looking thing. Alright, now that eye, it's kind of bugging me. I think just because it was too dark. I like the idea of it being dark, but maybe like that. Yeah, it's coming along. All right, let's get one cool, or I'll say it's cool. Fire effect in here, and then we're gonna get into the shading, and we're good. Let me grab inking for this. We're gonna punch the saturation and stuff up too. We're gonna change the line color here because this is fire. It doesn't really look too much like fire. So go here and we'll go down here. We'll pick a little bit of a red. All right, let's see how this looks. Whoops, 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 whoops. And maybe we'll really punch it up. also going to try real quick just flipping the background. Edit, transform, flip. All right. All right. Let's get some shadow in here. Go down here. Since we got here, maybe we'll just go opposite. Yeah, maybe we'll go purplish red. I usually end up changing all this all the time anyway. So multiply. I'm going to turn all these layers off just so I can see it. Try to make it look like it's a little bit more like a marble or something. Hey, Nimrod, how's it going? It's good on my end, man. Thanks for asking. Did you guys move yet? I know you told me, and I apologize. I forget when you said you were. July, okay. So you getting excited? Yeah, everybody's good on this end, man. Let me zoom out a bit so we can see shadows a little bit better. And I'm also trying with this style too to sort of go, again, everything's quick as you can tell, but not try to go too, like, how do I say it? Not use my brain and go, okay, well, if light's coming from here, then it has to go here, like how I used to do, and I think most people probably should. Maybe we'll just put a little shadow under some of these scales just for laughs. I'm going to fill all of this down here with shadow, just so that your eye has to, it's only focus on the face here. Maybe we'll just pull out a couple highlights here. And we'll add a little bit to the smoke. This is a Patreon commission. Yep. Almost done. I'll add a little bit of shadow under the eyes, just to really punch up that dragon. See you later, Lewis. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. It's good to see you again. Okay, so I think we're good. So we're going to turn everything else on. And yeah, it's multiplied, so we're good to go. What I'll try real quick before we do last couple effects here is I'm going to try... Where is my smooth watercolor? I don't really have too many places for this to work. Maybe we can just smooth out some of this here. And down here. Maybe the clouds a bit. And we'll add a highlight to the eye. Okay. Let's just change the shadow color. Sometimes I'll do this afterwards anyway, just to see. You know, do I want to cool it up? Do I want to keep it warm? I like it warm, I think. Sometimes you can bust up the saturation too, and it'll really start looking pretty neat. No, we'll keep it there. Okay, so the background's kind of pissing me off a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to try just a slight glow around them, maybe. Why is this going pink? No, I don't like that at all. Good, nice little glow. Okay, thanks for popping in, buddy. Glad you guys are doing well. Okay, so now to wrap it up, let's start doing some of our special effects, I'll call them. So we're going to merge it so everything's the same. There we go, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I like a 30. I think I like a 30. Art, where do you get your ink brushes and etc.? Usually I made a good chunk of them, and then also a good chunk of them, like all of these. I know I bought a couple packs from people, like the Friendin one everybody talks about. I think I got one from... Oh, where was the other one I got? Friendin. There's two other packs that I know I got for sure. I can't remember their names. I feel bad about that too. But anyway, I got two other cats, and then sometimes I'll just adjust them as I go. Another trick I like to do sometimes is, like if there's somebody you like an artist that you like, you just take their high-res image if you can find it, and bring it into Clip Studio or Photoshop, and then start fiddling with brush settings to try to get the same kind of line. That helps too. Hey Ben, how are you? I'm good, man. Okay, so we got this on here, and then the magic happens here. I think we go screen, and it starts to make it look like an animation cell a little bit. All right. Sometimes overlay works real nice too. That's not that bad. I don't like going full on the right there, but let's get that paper texture over top. Paper texture really opens this up, so you can kind of get some range there. Okay, we'll do that, and then I'll make another layer, and we'll do levels. Sometimes the shadows get weird. Let's try that. Try that on screen. Yeah, I don't like that. We'll go overlay. And on top of this, we're going to make a screen layer. And we're just going to, I don't do this normally, but like when you got something like fire, it always looks kind of good. Let's go up here, we're going to put screen. And I'm just going to lightly kiss the fire. Is that even going to work? Yeah, it's kind of coming out there. It's weird because I got all these blend modes on there that it's not coming out as sharp. Pointillism, what is that? Yeah, okay. I think we're good. The last thing is a color balance layer. New correction, color balance. And this just sort of brings it all together. So our shadows are in the red, but I usually default to like one around here. And then we'll turn it on and off and see how it looks. Layer, correction layer, color balance. So we went into the pinkish reds for the shadow. So we'll go here. And then our highlight would have been the opposite. So blue and cyan. So it looks a little, it's interesting. Look at it back here. That blue's kind of nice. The red's nice too. I think we keep it warm. Just adjustment layers everywhere. There, I think we're done. And we'll make a new layer. And we will pick, I don't know, this color. Oh, need darker. Looks like that. Cool. Alright, we can save that and I'll set it. Okay, well, thanks, guys. It was good. Like I said, tonight was just a quick little test. Just say hi to everybody as well. And hopefully we'll get more of these going. So long as it works out here with the baby and everything going on here. But anyway, thanks, guys. I will talk to you later, and have a good night.